Everspace 2 from ROCKFISH Games that we're going to talk about. Let me first play you this little video. It's just like a, whatever, 35-second long video. And then after that, let's talk about it a little bit. All right. So, yeah, that is good stuff. Basically, Everspace 2, think about it kind of like No Man's Sky with a more in-depth flight mechanic. It's still arcadey, but it's super deep and rich. There's tons of fun. The developers call it Diablo in space. There's tons of loot upgrades to unlock. But it's at the same time, it does have that. It's not Star Citizen or Elite Dangerous where, you know, you kind of, it's like HOTAS and you want to, or HOSAS, and you want to be like super up on 8,000 different bindings. It is sort of arcadey. It's got that, and it's not for everyone. If what I'm describing to you, if an in-depth sort of, arcadey, but Diablo-ish style spaceship game, if you hear that and go, oh, that does not sound fun, do not get that game. It's not for you. But I think there's a lot of people for which if you said, hey, man, it is sort of the arcadey whatever, but it has an in-depth weapon system and loot mechanics, and you upgrade your ship, and there's lots of different things to do. I think a lot of people would be like, that sounds kind of fun. I think I might like to give that a try. In which case, hey, guess what? They just released the Zharkov game, like expansion or update or whatever you want to call it. So Zharkov is a whole new zone it's like a new system, and there's a whole storyline involved. There's special enemies. It tailors on. It goes for that. I think you should probably look to check it out. ROCKFISH Games is the publisher. They also put out a 2-hour-long stream with one of the developers called New Story Content and Quality of Life Changes. It is very, very cool, and it's more about that whole Zharkov content. Also, we have for you from ROCKFISH Games, Everspace 2 gameplay explanation trailer and combat basics. So they get into some of the stuff. Check out the link for that one. And if you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I see what you're saying here. It's a weird hybrid of, sort of arcadey in its style, but very kind of similar to Diablo. It's arcadey in style, but really, really deep in the upgrade mechanics and the different things you could do. I think a lot of people are going to like that. And earlier today, like 3 hours ago, they dropped a whole new stream talking about feedback that they got from this whole Zharkov thing and from players over the last month and changes that they're making. They're being very sort of receptive and making changes to bring their gameplay up to the next level. So go and check that out if that sounds interesting to you. Roy.
Yeah, so I'm normally not into the arcadey games, but when you said, I guess they said Diablo in space, that was a bit of a flash for me. I spent so much time in Diablo 1. Like that mandolin background music is like burned into my brain. If they've actually, there's a kind of special sauce if you can get an arcadey game that just on Diablo did it, has ticks all the right boxes. I'm gonna check that out. That's interesting.
The combat mechanics sort of description one has a little more in there, and then like I said, the 2-hour one has a lot more in there. You should definitely check it out because it looks like a really, really cool game. Astro. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I've been playing Everspace 2 for a number of times. I will come back to it from time to time when they do larger updates, and it's actually about time that I go and look at it again. And I mean, it's a good game. It's fun, and it is like the loot mechanic, I think, is where the game really shines. You can really think, like, you have the different types of weapons and shields and armor and things you fit on your ship, and you can actually make builds because you have multiple weapons you can fit at the same time. So you need to consider, okay, I'm going to go long range, I'm going to go short range, and I'm going to go something good against shields, something good against armor. Do I want to swap weapons, or do I want to go in the middle of the road? So, and I think that's, at least for me, that's the thing that appeals me with a game like Diablo, is the whole, sit there and tinker with your equipment and figure out, so if I mix this one with that one and this one and that one, and then all that stuff, and you have different skills. So it's a pretty cool little game. Yeah, I'm glad to see they're still improving upon it.
Hell yeah. And Zharkov, the whole new, like, it's a whole new system, a whole new zone that they added, and it's the story that goes along with it, and the enemies and whatnot.